Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Shock Horror Theatre. My name is Ruben Crowley, and come with me on a terrifying journey as we review Night of the Reaper. So, fellow ghosts and ghouls, Night of the Reaper originally released in 2025 and was directed by Brandon Christensen and stars Jessica Clement, Ryan Robbins, Summer H. Howell, Keegan Connor Tracy, Matty Fanoki, Max Christensen, Bryn Samuel, and Ben Cockle. At the beginning of our story, a babysitter named Emily is killed by a masked figure. Subsequently, college student Dina agrees to babysit the young son of a sheriff named Rodney Arnold. No relation to Tom Arnold, I assume. The sheriff himself is dealing with a mystery involving snuff films delivered to him. And for fear that the Grim Reaper himself will seek me out on this very night, that's all I'm going to tell you about the story. Otherwise, I'm liable to spoil it. And that would be an absolutely dreadful shame. So let us review this slasher film the only way I know how, in a low, brooding, sinister voice. And let us start with what I absolutely loved about Night of the Reaper. While this film story might seem like your classic slasher affair, I can promise you it is anything but. The story features several twists and turns that might just have you exclaiming in a very loud voice, "What the?" Insert profanity word here. If they were to write an erotic story based on this film's narrative, they would probably have to call it 50 Shades of Horror Goodiness. The film is a little bit I Know What You Did Last Summer, a little bit Scream, a whole lot of Halloween, a little bit of A Stranger Calls thrown in there for good measure. Essentially, the greatest thing about this film's narrative is how it subverts expectations and toys with you like a snake might toy with a rodent. But be aware, this film features neither snakes nor rodents. Though the sheriff is called Rodney, and I suppose that sounds like rodent? Kind of. Sort of. No, not really. I also found the film's performances to be rather excellent, particularly from the actress playing Dina and the sheriff. Sheriffs are weird in horror films, particularly in slasher movies, usually relegated to comic relief or some idiot who doesn't truly believe that something sinister is going on in his town. But not here, no. Here, it seems to be the other way around. The sheriff saying, "Something is going on around here." He doesn't talk like that. And his deputy is going, "I tell you, sheriff, there is nothing going on around here." Again, he doesn't talk like that either. The film also has some fantastic jump scares, so make sure if you're going to watch this movie, you do it with the headphones on. Unless, of course, you're going to watch it with a loved one, an other half, a reanimated corpse. In that case, you may need 2 sets of headphones. Though I don't know how you would accomplish that, trying to hook up 2 sets of headphones into one television. Anyway, the film also has a fantastic soundtrack that sounds like it was composed by John Carpenter himself. Spoilers, it wasn't. And though the film takes place in the 1980s, it was rather refreshing to see a film not use the same tired songs we've heard in so many of these movies that are trying to recapture the 1980s. In fact, if I hadn't told you the film was set in the 1980s, you may not have guessed for yourself. Unless, of course, you were paying attention to the fact that the child in the film is playing an Atari. There's a RoboCop poster on one of the walls. No one is using a cellular telephone. So that was rather nice. I mean, chilling. That was rather chilling. This was a fantastic slasher film, but was there anything wrong with the film? Well, let us see, shall we? I don't know why I'm asking you. 'Twas a rhetorical question. Just like John Carpenter's 1978 hit Halloween, the film doesn't boast the biggest body count I have seen in a slasher movie. There also isn't much in the way of gratuitous violence, though there is a death in the later half of the film that did, it took me by surprise, let's just say that. Sorry, I'm laughing, just imagining other people reacting to that particular death. Excuse me. Also, if you're not a fan of animals being killed in slasher movies, though we don't see any of them occur, thankfully, there is a few props of dead dogs, so if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, don't be. It's a goddamn prop, for God's sake. But honestly, in terms of flaws, that's about it, I think. Night of the Reaper is an absolutely fantastic slasher film that took me back to the 1990s when we were inundated with the bloody things. And most of the time, they were rather good. So if you want to watch the film for yourself, it is currently streaming on Shudder. Therefore, I'm going to declare that Night of the Reaper is a hell of a good time. So there we are, ghouls and ghosts. Another review by yours truly. If you've enjoyed this little review of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, the Reaper, he may be after you. So I shall wish you good night. And please remember, the Grim Reaper wears no crown, but all kings must bow to him.